What's going on, everybody? It's Monday, which is the day where we go over my question from the previous week and see what all of you thought. Now, I think that it is amazing the wealth of knowledge that this community has and how willing people are to share their thoughts. This is a difficult question. What do you think is undervalued and has a lot of upside moving forward? I mean, none of us have that crystal ball that we all wish that we had, but some of you had some really, really good things to say. I, for one, am not a person who thinks he knows everything, and I'm not a person who thinks that he has all the answers. And that's one of the reasons I really look forward to these Monday videos, because it allows me to ask questions to all of you and hear what you all have to say, because I have a lot to learn from all of you. But first, I've continued to get some mail coming in looking at trades for my T206 Miller card. And I got some really good deals. I win every trade. Every trade that I have from you all, I'm the winner, because what you send me is much better than what I send back to you. So I wanted to share a few of these. First, Jeff sent me this great Roger Clemens card. Love any early Roger Clemens card. Also sent me a Greg Nettles, and this is a Tiffany from Jeff. And then another Tiffany from Jeff, the 86 Topps Nettles. Love that card right there. Only thing I don't really love about that one is that he's no longer in a Yankee uniform. And then from Keith sent me this cool Clemens card. One of his highlight baseball's best pitchers, talking about his ERA in that particular one. Love that. Thank you for that, Keith. And then Edison, look at that beauty of my guy, Matt Manning. Love picking up Matt's cards. Again, if you've not seen the channel before, Matt is a former student of mine, great guy. We golfed together actually last weekend, where he gave me one of his game-used jerseys. That was amazing. Danny sent me this. This is another Greg does some artwork in sports cards. And so he got another Greg's artwork and sent that over to me. Very cool. Appreciate that from Greg and from Danny. And then David sent me a couple Manning cards. There's a very cool one right there. And then another here. So thank you so much for that, David. And then my buddy Mookie Chilson. Man, he started off, he sent me a lot of stuff, and he started off with some super great stuff, and then he got dirty on me. First, we've got this. He's got an old Batman and Robin card, and he says on there, me for him for Batman and me for Robin, as if I am his second fiddle, which is probably true, in fairness. This is a beautiful card, this Derek Jeter, a remake of the 54 Topps set. That's a beauty, so I was excited to get that. And then my buddy from my same college, alma mater, with Ozzie Smith, at the stadium of my college that I went to, Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, there's a statue of Ozzie Smith. And the MVP of the team every year receives the Ozzie Smith Award. And then he sent me this cool card with some current and former Yankees on it. That was cool. And then my favorite Rickey Henderson card ever, again from Mookie. So Mookie sent me some stuff. And then with the Super Bowl, look at that. Got my guy Joe Montana. Love Joe Montana out this way. And then he started getting a little bit tricky on me. He sent me a Mike Piazza. Boo. He knows I'm not a Piazza guy. Sent me another Piazza. And another Piazza. And then another Piazza. So I'm sitting here going through this. I'm going, come on, Mook. You sent me some Piazzas. And then look what he did. He sent me a Pedro card. He knows I'm not big on Pedro. Pedro was really the pitching rival of Roger Clemens. And so what does he have right behind the Pedro card that he sent me? A Don Zimmer. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Pedro Don Zimmer incident. So that was, but then he sandwiched it between a couple more goodies. A Clemens in a Yankee uniform, love that. And then a very cool numbered Matt Manning pink parallel rookie card. So love that as well. So Mookie, appreciate some of those. Some of them, you were a little dirty to me on that one. So that was very cool. In all seriousness, seriously, all of you that have sent me something, really appreciate it. If you're interested in one of my T206 cards, I'll put the address on the screen now. Again, remember, you don't have to send me a trade, but it is pretty fun seeing what you all send. So if you want to send a trade, I'm happy to do that. Just send an envelope, a self-addressed stamp envelope, and I am happy to send you one of mine back. If you'd like it signed, if you'd like it numbered, if you'd like any sort of inscription, I'm happy to do that as well. Just simply let me know in the note in the envelope that you send. But let's take a look at what all of the comments were from this past week over what is undervalued with a lot of potential upside. Let's check it out. Greg, for a card set vintage that does not get the love is the post serial cards. These sets are low in the total amounts to complete, a great amount of star Hall of Fame players, and easy to find. Yeah, I mean, I think the post serial is a good choice. As people are doing player runs, you know, it feels like there's definitely a movement away from, I mean, and it's not across the board, but set collecting used to be pretty much everyone was a set collector. And there are still a lot of set collectors, and I totally respect set collectors, but it feels like some people have moved away from set collecting and towards player runs. And once you get through a player run of the base cards, then a lot of people don't want it to end. They want to look at what else is there, what is next. And so I think some of those non-mainstream cards are going to continue to grow in some popularity. And I think this is a great point. I think the post serial are some of the ones that are next after you go through the base cards. And, you know, a couple of these years, they were hand cut. And so a lot of them get authentic grades. A lot of them, if they are hand cut outside of the borders, then they can get numeric grades. But the numeric grades are definitely rarer than the authentic ones. But if you just look here on the screen, there is a Mickey Mantle in a PSA 3. And the Mickey Mantle in a PSA 3 sold for $99. So we're talking about a 1962 Mickey Mantle card. It didn't get the authentic because it was cut well enough. And it's $99. Where are you going to get a Mickey Mantle card from the 1960s for that kind of price, right? And then there's a 1963 post Willie Mays in a PSA 5. Again, any numeric grade is a little bit rare compared to a lot of these are authentic. And you got a PSA 5 and it sold for $117.50. So when you look at those cards, you're not going to be able to get Mickey Mantles and Willie Mazes from the base set anywhere near that price. I mean, this is so much less than you would get the base cards for. It does seem like if player runs continue to gain steam, which they have over the last, several years, I think that some of these cards from well-known sets, but not the mainstream sets, could see a jump. I think it's a very good point, and there's a lot of potential there. So let's take a look at the next comment. I can remember when the Jackie Robinson rookie card was not a super high-priced card as it is today. Jackie's historical significance finally took hold in the hobby. I believe Curt Flood cards will finally be recognized due to his great sacrifice in attacking the reverse clause and helping establish free agency for all the players. As a player, he was Hall of Fame bound, but gave it all up in his fight. His fantastic high number 1958 Topps rookie card will become an important card in the hobby. I think Curt Flood's a great choice. I've mentioned Curt Flood a few times. A few other commenters have talked about Curt Flood over the last little bit of time. You know, when we're talking about importance to the community, to the card community specifically, but also to the player community, Curt Flood was monumental in creating free agency for all players. I mean, a lot of the big contracts that you see nowadays are a result of free agency and being able to test the market and get the most money. And a lot of the origins from that came directly from Curt Flood. I mean, he took it to court. He fought a fight for that freedom for players. And if you ask, you know, the Major League Baseball Player Association, who is the most important player of all time, a lot of them would point to Curt Flood. And as is mentioned in the comment, he was a really, really good player as well. A borderline Hall of Fame player had he played all the way through. Now, if we look at this couple of cards on the screen here, his rookie card in an SGC 5 in middle December sold for $23.50. That's wild for a very good player and a very important player. And then we have a PSA 6 that sold in December for $66. For a player with that quality and a player with that sort of significance in the sport and to the players and to getting us to where we are for the players, I think that those are absolute steals. And I do think that at some point there's going to be more of an appreciation for Curt Flood. And I think it's a great, great point. Let's look at the next comment. Jim Palmer's 1966 Topps rookie card is very undervalued. 8 seasons of 20 or more wins, never gave up a grand slam, and pitched very well in the World Series. Also, I believe he had 286 career wins. As you are well aware, you can pick up a mid-grade rookie for about $100. Mind-boggling to me. Also, Griffey's 1987 Bellingham Mariners first card. There can't be too many of them out there. Value, in my opinion, should be many times what the Upper Deck Gem Mint value is. You know, when you're looking at just stats, just statistically speaking, Jim Palmer was dominant for a very, very long time. Now, why doesn't he get more love? I don't really know. I mean, he didn't play in a major market. He didn't play in Chicago. He didn't play in New York. He didn't play in LA. He was a smaller market guy, but, you know, he pitched really, really well for a really, really long time. And his rookie card is insanely affordable. You know, looking at these two on the screen right now, his rookie card in SGC 5.5 for $78. $78. This is a Hall of Fame pitcher. This is his rookie card in a 5.5, a very nice looking card, for $78. I mean, if somebody went down to Target right now and bought a couple of blaster boxes, it's not much less than that. And this is one of the best pitchers of all time. His rookie card already been graded, and a pretty nice one. And then the second one on there is a PSA 6 for $149.19. Now, if you compare this to other very, very good pitchers with rookie cards in the 60s, it's incredible how affordable he was. His cards are. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, the second card that's mentioned here is the Ken Griffey Jr. minor league card. Now, I did a video a while ago on minor league cards and how in the quote-unquote junk wax era, there are a lot of rare cards, and a lot of them are minor league cards, and this Ken Griffey Jr. is an example. There are not that many of this card out there. Now, let's take a look at the screen at what these sell for, what a Ken Griffey Jr. minor league card sells for. So $167.50 for a PSA 9, and you say, well, that's probably because the population is huge. But it's not. There are less than 3,700 of these out there. There are under 4,000 total that have ever been graded. And less than 1,000 graded got a 10. So there's under 2,000 nines out there. You know, we're in this era of numbered cards, and a card numbered out of, 250 or 500 or whatever it is, we go, oh, well, that's rare. Well, this is Ken Griffey Jr.'s card before the iconic Upper Deck card, which is the most graded card of all time. There are tens of thousands of that card out there. And you could buy a 9 of the Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. card for, it would be more expensive than this card, which is significantly rarer. I think it's really interesting. And I think a really good point is made here on both the Palmer and on Ken Griffey Jr.'s minor league card. Now, I know he had a couple other minor league cards as well, but this is kind of interesting that that card hasn't gotten more love. Great choices on that one. So let's take a look at the next recommendation. I think Bowman Vintage has big upside. It amazes me the low price of some of the stars from the Bowman cards from the late 40s and early 50s. Now, I've wondered this myself. I'm actually a big fan of Bowman cards. I think the 54 Bowmans are beautiful. I think the 53 Bowman colors are beautiful. I think the 50 and 51 Bowmans are beautiful. I love those sets. And there are some iconic and important cards in each of those sets. And I don't really understand why Topps cards sell for so much more. And people say, well, they're Topps. And Topps has the name recognition. And that's true, but, there are still Bowman branded cards, just like there are Topps branded cards. And it's interesting to me that people go with that name brand even back then. And when I get it, if we look at the screen here, if we think of the 1954 Willie Mays, our first thought is probably not the Bowman version. It's probably the Topps version at the top of the screen. But you can make the argument that the Bowman version is it's a very cool looking card. And when you look at the price difference, it's not quite 50% more for the Topps over the Bowman, but it's a lot more. It's a big percentage more, which is very interesting to me. So why? Why is the Bowman worth so much less than the Topps? So let's look at this next slide. On this one, we look at Hank Aaron. So we look at the 55 Hank Aaron. Now remember, Hank Aaron's rookie card is 54. So we have the second year of the Hank Aaron Topps, or the first Bowman card the second year. And look at how much more expensive the Topps is over the Bowman. And some people say, well, the 55 Bowman's not really as well accepted of a set. There are a lot of people who aren't huge on that set, but there are other people that are huge fans of that set. And I get the eye appeal of the Topps being very cool. Don't get me wrong. I love the 55 Topps Hank Aaron. But it's, 75% more expensive than the Bowman. So the question, I think, becomes, will it always be like that? Is this a temporary thing or is this a forever thing? Because the Bowmans are so much of a better value. If they were to catch up at all, somebody could do well by going after the Bowmans. Now, do I think they'll ever reach Topps value? Probably not. I would say no. But there are some really, really cool Bowman cards out there. One of Stan Musial's best looking cards is a Bowman card. One of the most iconic Jackie Robinson cards is a Bowman card. I mean, the 53 Bowman color and the 54 Bowman set have some unbelievable cards in them. I could see Bowman cards start to creep up a little bit because as collectors want to be collecting plain day cards of these all-time greats, when there's a huge savings, a lot of people are going to go with the more affordable option, which could bring the price up a little. Will it happen? I don't know, but I think it's an excellent point, and I definitely think it's possible. I think hockey cards in general are undervalued. When you look at players starting to come from non-traditional hockey places, like Austin Matthews from Arizona, the interest in hockey will be increasing, and the trickle-down will create collectors for the hockey card hobby. You add in big, upcoming, and generational talents like Connor Bedard, it only will create more interest. Underappreciated? Hockey, hockey, hockey. More specific? Vintage hockey. Low pop counts combined with less production can only mean good things down the road. Even though hockey is not as mainstream as the other major sports, there are many great past players whose cards bring a good investment opportunity. Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, and Gordie Howe are just a few of the greats in the game. As the NHL continues to grow, getting in now on some of the all-time greats is a no-brainer. All right. Now, I love hockey. I especially love playoff hockey. I mean, playoff hockey is unbelievable. And one thing, if there's anything that people have been just pounding at me and hounding me about for weeks and months, really, is hockey cards. The people that are into hockey cards are absolutely fanatical about hockey cards. Now, I'm not a hockey card expert. I don't have a ton of hockey cards. I recently at a show bought a few Wayne Gretzky cards, but they weren't like his rookie card. They were, third, fourth year type cards. And I do have a few Gretzky's. When I was growing up, Lemieux was unbelievable. And it seemed like every night he would score a goal or two. I mean, that guy was a phenom. And then Jaromir Jagr came on. He was a phenom. And, there have been some unbelievable hockey players. But I'm telling you, the hockey crowd keeps saying, Greg, hockey cards are undervalued, especially vintage hockey cards. Now, I have no data on this. I have nothing to compare it to. I am not a person who has much knowledge about hockey cards. But I can tell you the relentlessness of the hockey card collecting community and the passion of the hockey card collecting community. There's no doubt about it that there is an engine of people out there that are really strong believers in the long time value of it. Now, I think that some of those names that were mentioned, Bobby Orr, Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, obviously are the biggest names, but there are some incredible talents right now. Ovechkin is an insane talent, obviously. Sidney Crosby, and then some of these younger guys, Connor Bedard, there are some incredible hockey players out there right now. We are living in a time that there is a lot of hockey talent. What will happen with hockey cards? I have no idea, but there's no way I could have done this video and shared all these people's opinions and not included hockey after the hockey card collectors continue to tell me, I'm telling you, Greg, they're undervalued. I would like to have some hockey cards. I would like to have more vintage hockey cards. There are some very cool Parkhurst cards out there, some O-Pee-Chees and some Topses that I would like to have. There's no doubt about it. But when you only have a certain amount of money to spend, you have to kind of choose where you want to spend it. And though I've spent some of it on some hockey, I haven't spent a lot of it. But if somebody was looking to speculate, I'm telling you, nobody is more relentless towards me than hockey collectors. I don't know what else to say other than that. So hockey, does it have a future? I'm not sure. Do I have a recommendation? I don't, because I don't know enough about it. But there are a lot of believers in vintage hockey. Now, for this week's question, I want to point out something. So I showed this to you guys recently, and my friend David from Seattle, such a sweet guy, bought me this card with the kindest note about how, after losing my dog Mandy, and that just absolutely tore me up, and he got me this card to honor my friendship with my buddy Mandy. And I got to tell you, it is not just the most thoughtful sports card that anybody has ever given me, but it is one of the nicest gifts anybody has given me. Giving gifts to people is better than receiving gifts. I truly believe that. When I get to the holiday season, I am more excited to give things to people than to receive things from others. So, after receiving this insanely thoughtful gift, my question for this week is, what is the most thoughtful or generous sports card you've ever been given? Tell me the story about it. What's the card that you received that really just made an imprint on you? Who gave it to you? Why was it so meaningful for you? I really look forward to hearing your responses to this one, because gifts are so much fun to give. They're also fun to receive. But when it comes to sports cards, there's sometimes a little extra special meaning. So what is one that was extremely meaningful to you? I look forward to hearing your responses, and I can't wait till next week when I get to share some of those stories.